Hello, this is Simple Solidworks. Today we're going to go over another feature, or the same feature we talked about last lesson on Revolve. But on this particular one, we're going to do a Revolve cut of a part that you have received from a vendor. Usually this might be a vendor that provided you a step file, and they want you to run it through a CNC process, and you want to make sure that their part sort of works with the dimensions and drawing that you have submitted to them. So usually they'll send you a step file to do that process. So let's get started. Usually they'll send you the step file. You can either import it in or you can already have created it. I like to go to Insert first, then go to Part, and then browse for your step file. Or here, if you look at here, you can pretty much bring it in directly as a step file in this area here. On this part, we just already have it done. So I'm just going to bring it in. I'm going to confirm what I want to bring in, which is a solid body. I want to bring in the planes. You can locate the part with Move Copy feature. You can activate that button. And when you confirm, it's going to say, yes. Say yes to that. Sometimes it'll say that. And now you have it there. You can say, now I want to sort of lock it into my existing planes. So you have these planes here, and the drawing has its own set of planes. So you want to lock those two planes together so that you know that everything is sort of matching. Now again, this is one way to do it. It's not the only way to do it, but I like to do, this is the way I was taught, and it seems to make sense to me when they taught me this process. And that pretty much locks that file in. It's got the planes matching. Your planes are matching with this plane and so forth. Sometimes it doesn't move, sometimes it does, and if it does, that's great. So right now you want to start your process of creating your extrude cut or revolve cut. So let's start by putting this on the front plane here. Let's create the revolve cut. And you're going to pick the front plane. And you want to start this process by with a nice rectangular command, or you can do the line command, however you want to do it. Okay. So you start your process here. Kind of crazy today. And you move it you can physically move it like this. I like to make sure that this and this are collinear, this line and that are collinear, so that it matches is on that face. It's constraint. I also like to make a center line to the center of the circle or to the UCS, right? And then I like to start my dimensioning. So let's say I know that this part, since I made it, this is 20 inches in diameter. So the guy wants to cut it down to 18 first. And then he wants to sort of make sure that you have, the first cut's going to be like 6 inches. So that revolve cut is going to be that much. Here you can put whatever height you want. It really doesn't matter. And now you have all the elements that you need to do your first revolve cut. And when you confirm this sketch, it's going to ask you what do you want, where's the axis, what kind of cuts, 360, where's this line, which is this line here, the sketch itself, and then you confirm. So now you did your first initial cut. Now this is useful in case you get later on this client says, well, we want to make this a little bit smaller. We're going to send you a different step file, which we changed the forging. We want to make it a little bit smaller now, and want to know if those parameters that you just put in your first cut are still valid. Does 18 still work if I send you something that's 18 and a half? And you can always say, yeah, still will cut enough of the material to create that part for you. And the reason people, at least where I worked at before, they used to do this is because they didn't want later on for the customer to say, well, you did it wrong. You you gave us a part that doesn't fit inside of our piece, or it's too big or it's too small, right? You can always say, you know, it's you will be worked off your step file. You gave us a step file, we worked off of that, we created the sketch for you, you approved it, and we worked off your step file. So in the case you only work with their product, it'll save you a lot of headaches later on about why things didn't quite work out the way they didn't work out, right? So that's just a good way to sort of keep yourself checked and avoid problems in the future. So let's do another revolve cut. So we're doing another revolve cut. And we're going to say pick the same plane. And we're going to take a line. We're going to sort of attach it to this point here, because you want to sort of keep things just a tad bit in sort of in control of what you're going to cut. So you come up here, and cut this there, then you start your dimensioning process, right? You know that this here is going to be from here to here. Oops, sorry. I have to do one thing. And always try to give it that center line. I always like to do the center line because it gives you a diameter call out. So I like to do that. That makes sense. And you say, okay, let's start off at 13. Why not? Okay, that's 13. And you want to say from here to here, let's say 17 and a half. You see this little bit there? That's never good to do that. So if you ever run into that problem, you can always go back to this point right here. This point right here. And you can delete that. Now you're going to delete that again. Actually, click on it, hit delete. Okay. Okay, let's delete this line. It's causing more trouble than it needs. So let's draw another line here, like so. Let's take it there. You can always delete stuff if it gets you a headache. Oh my God, it doesn't want to move. It doesn't want to delete. What can I do? Just go ahead and touch it, delete it, start all over again. It doesn't. There's no crime in that. You know, a lot of people try to want to do perfect things, and sometimes, well, this program is not designed for perfection. You can get perfection from it, but you want to sort of have it, give it some flexibility as well. So this dimension here, we're going to change that to 23 again. We want to move this guy, get rid of this guy. He's causing a lot of trouble, so you want to come here. I'm trying to do this mode here and there. So I'm just playing around to get the right angle that I want. I don't have a drawing to go by, but I just want to create something. You guys can see what we're talking about here. So now you can put the dimension here to here. Let's say that's 5. That makes sense. And then from here to here, let's make that 10. And then from here there, let's make it 14.5. That sounds about right. Why not? And then you still got this blue here. It's because it's missing a dimension. So you can either dimension this piece and say 2. Again, blue is never good. So now you have your next cut that's going to happen. You go to features, go back to Revolve cut, and you're gonna have that cut coming out, and then you're gonna have this. So now you have two features. You got the Revolve cut over here, another Revolve cut there. You have this up feature. It's called the boo body woo and all that fun stuff. And you have your original part that you have imported in, and you can't. The customer can't say, "Oh my God, you screwed this up. You used the wrong size." You can always say, "Nope, I pretty much use your forge. You know, your forge is what you gave me. This is what I use to cut my pieces off." So let's do another revolve. Okay, back to front. This one we're gonna create a line. And we're gonna. You can either take. You can also do this in Solidworks. You can either take this line and convert it. It gives you a little point to start off from. You can just say, well, I want it to be there, and I need to go here, 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 there. You can then trim that off. Okay, so you can get a nice little angle going on in there. Everything else is sort of constrained. And you can say 105. And you can say 5. So pretty much you have that weird looking piece like that. You're going to need, again, a center line. It likes that. And you can then keep the feature command again. This one you're going to revolve it cut. It's going to do that weird stuff. This might give you an error, but it might, yeah, it gave you an error, right? And I knew it was going to give me an error because if you look at it, as soon as I hit this command, you know, it sort of gave it a shaved look. That means that it can't cut something that is right on the surface of that. It just can't do that. It needs something else to do this. So if you ever run into that, just delete the dimension, delete some of the constraints, or just go straight to the line and delete it. Go back to the sketch and extend it past the part that you're going to consume. Just think about it like that. It just can't not consume something that is not there. You need something to eat, to cut apart, right? It needs something to take away from. Otherwise, it's just nothing there to take from. Oops, I didn't undo. And let's keep that. Okay, let's do this. This is also wrong. See how that's not right? So let's make that horizontal. And let's do this. You can know it was horizontal because it gave me a dimension that was angled, and I knew that was not right. So let's say 6. And then let's take this guy here. Let's make a cold image of that. So now everything is nice and black again. Go to features, I'll cut, or you just could have confirmed it. Hit OK. Now it shaves it off. So if you ever run into that problem where things get kind of weird like that, just keep working your way through it. This will be one way to create a part from a derived part. So meaning you started out with a customer that gave you this. This is the forged part. And you went ahead and created several features to work that part into a part that you can then submit to a CNC machine. Right? You can do that because this program, you know, it loves to have data that comes in pieces, especially a CNC machine. It loves data that comes in pieces of features and so forth. Good thing about that is it allows for that to be created in a way that's constructive and editable, right? You could take things that are already made and have them categorized right here. So you have everything as a revolve first. Now you have your fillets, then you have your chamfers, you have your hole that's going through, and these are things that are important for creating something in a CNC machine. So I hope this video was helpful. The next lesson that I'm going to talk about is going to be more about sweep, how to create a sweep part using a profile and a line. So if you are interested in learning that, please be on the lookout for that next video.